One of the simplest ways to have success in business and life, and this is so cliche, but it's so important, especially with the overwhelm of all the information that is online and all the people talking about their fancy startups or their fancy AI workflows or their fancy ad systems or AI UGC, all this fancy stuff, right? Don't do that. You don't gotta be fancy. You don't gotta be sexy. You just gotta start, okay? You just gotta put things out there. You gotta put your content out there. You gotta make a product, and it doesn't matter if it's the best or whatnot, and you gotta slap a price tag on it, make an offer, and put it in front of your audience. If you're always trying to get the perfect solution, you're never gonna get momentum, and you're never gonna get going, and you'll never have success. And, you know, I guess I say this from being the guy who's always trying to do something perfect or do it better or like plan everything out. And then also being the guy that's like, screw it, just send it. Just send it out, all right? Like, hey, we need to make a video on this topic. Boom, let's make a video on the topic. Post, hit publish and then move on to the next thing, and don't get so fixated on it. So many people are so worried about making something perfect, and they forget that you don't help anyone when you make something perfect, because it's impossible to make something perfect, and oftentimes you never get there, and so you don't publish, or the window of opportunity passes you by. And so I like to think that the best thing that you can do is recognize, just come to terms with, hey, you're not perfect, your product isn't gonna be perfect, but no one is. People aren't perfect. They don't need perfect solutions to their problems. They need a solution, right? They need to take the next step, because most problems aren't solved in anything, right, with a perfect solution. They're just solved by taking one step at a time, moving forward, identifying something, and then taking the step in that right direction. This is with business, right? Your business doesn't automatically become $1 billion business or $1 million business or $100,000 business overnight, right? You just start. I mean, look at Amazon. There's the photos of those guys making their business in their garages, right? You have an idea, and you're like, okay, I'm going to put the idea out there. I'm going to slap a price tag on it, and I'm going to sell that idea, okay? And that's the thing that you need to take away from this video, especially as we're looking at more and more stuff with, like I said, with AI and all this kind of stuff coming out. And a big paralysis that people have is they think that just because they can do something, someone else can do something, right? And you have to remember that you're not necessarily your target audience. You're not necessarily your ideal client. There's a lot of people that I know that are very smart, very successful, but they don't know how to use AI. They don't even have an AI system set up. I'm just using AI as a topic because I have AI products. You can check it out in the arsenal below. I have marketing products, things like that. They could do the things, okay? But they don't have the time to do the things. But they have money to pay someone who can help them do those things or can do those things for them. So in marketing, right, they could build a course, or they could work with someone that can help them build the course, the curriculum. And that synergy that comes from working together as a team, right, that's incredibly valuable. And there are people out there that value that are willing to pay for that want to engage in that recognize that value. Those are all very, very important things. And there's people out there that don't value those things. You need to spend 0 time with the people who don't value things, 0 time with the people who aren't willing to pay for good advice or aren't willing to invest in help. Those people will waste your time. They're not going to be successful. They're not going to get anywhere. You need to be finding people and opening yourself up to people who have an abundance mindset, who want to help others, who want to bless others, who want to serve others, all right? That's what it's all about as well. What's the point of building something? What's the point of, making money, having success, and then not being able to share it, or not being able to help someone else who's at a different stage in their journey move along, right, their journey as well, and get closer to what success looks like to them. Right, that's what you have to think about. And so when you're sitting there, if you're like, okay, what do I do? How do I make money? Go watch my video on how to start an AI consulting business and make $500 in a weekend, right? That's the bare bones thing on how you can do it. Join the arsenal. Start learning stuff about AI because it's a powerful tool. You don't need to become an AI expert or an AI master, but you need to learn how to use this tool that will increase your ability to solve problems and offer solutions that people will pay for. Okay, it is a tremendous help there. It takes a lot of the stuff, the barriers, and some of them are real and some of them are artificial barriers that people put in the way from actually getting started. And that last part is you need to get started. You need to actually say, all right, I'm going to publish this post. I'm going to start making videos every single day. I'm going to make something. I'm going to make an offer. I'm going to put a price tag on it. Right? You need to start doing that, because if you don't, you're going to be looking back and have wasted 3, 6, 12 months not doing that. But if you actually get started and do these things imperfectly, it's okay to be imperfect. Again, remember, you're not perfect. Your customers aren't perfect. No one expects perfection. And if people do, they're not your clients. You don't want to work with them. You don't want to engage with them. But just by putting that stuff out there, you'll be able to find your voice. You'll be able to find your audience. You'll be able to get feedback, better feedback, more feedback, faster feedback than you ever could just sitting with a whiteboard, planning out the perfect thing. And so I encourage you today, tomorrow, this weekend, whenever you're watching this, is to find something you can take action on and just do it. So if it's AI, upgrade the model. Okay, go in and play around with the features that the upgraded model has. Use it to figure out how you can make money. If it's with your business, launch a new product. Okay, like launch an offer. Email your list an offer. Email your list an old offer. When was the last time you emailed your list an old offer? When was the last time that you emailed your list? A lot of people are afraid to actually email the people who have signed up to become customers with them in their business. Email them. Right? You never know what's going to happen unless you try. And you may get no good response. Okay, then you can figure out, okay, well, that strategy didn't work. Maybe I just need to email them more. Maybe I need to change the angle, right? But at least you're moving forward, you're creating that momentum, and you're tapping into the abundance, not to get too woo, but the abundance of the universe. It's out there. But you have to be open to receive it. And in order to be open to receive it, you actually have to put yourself, your products, your services out there. And so with all the chaos in the world, don't get analysis paralysis, right? Just take one action. One little thing today is better than nothing. One little thing tomorrow is better than nothing. And if you keep doing that, it'll keep adding up. And if you want help or insights, right? A great next step, go check out the Arsenal, start building your AI foundation. I'm going to have a lesson coming there this next month where I teach you how to build that consulting business. I'm going to give you a quick little blueprint in there on how you can get started. Anyone can do this because there's an opportunity here. Just like people need their grass cut, like grass grows. People need it cut. They're willing to pay people to cut the grass. I know it's super simple. Windows get dirty. People like clear windows. They're willing to pay someone to clean their windows. Okay? AI, right, is growing. It's infiltrating businesses and everything at all these different levels. People are willing to pay someone to help them, right, to speed up their learning process. You could be that person, right? You just have to say, okay, I'm going to be that person. And you got to put yourself in front of the people that are willing to pay for your advice. And of course, if you don't know anything about it, first step is get educated. So take action on something. And I think if you do this, you will be better off. You'll get that momentum, you'll be moving forward, and you'll create opportunities that you could have only dreamed of in the past, but all because you took action. So that's it for this one. Catch you in the next one. Peace.